All right, we're live. Sorry we're running a little late today, but there isn't anybody online, so nobody knows that we're running late today. Unless they ran away and when we weren't on the air 3 minutes ago.
There is a God. No viewer is perfect.
Okay. So first things first, as always, please subscribe, hit the smash button, the subscribe button. Hit that tonight and hit the like button. Add some comments to the show tonight. And we'll be ready to go to answer some of your questions and comments. Keep your comments not negative. I don't want any negative comments. I don't want any smart-ass comments. Okay? Hello, Vicky. I think this is Coach Hack's friend.
Hi, Vicky.
Vicky, welcome to the show. We appreciate you coming. All righty. So, first of all, as always, since we got started with Calvin, we always let Calvin do a little news update at the beginning of the show. Any news that might have happened anywhere in the world of Hawkeye sports. So, Calvin, take it away.
Okay, this is brought to you by the Swarm. Donate heftily. Not much news. I'm not going to cover much because we got the Iowa State game tonight. So I thought it was interesting. I heard Addison Estrenga on the Vandenbergs, and he mentioned his little brother Jack, who's a sophomore, tight end, who's about his size at Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. So he's visited Northwestern. He hadn't really Iowa usually don't get excited too early, so he might be a Hawkeye someday. And I heard an interview with Tavon Smith. That might have been on the Vandenbergs too, but it's just an interesting story. In the Big Ten championship game against Michigan State, they called that. Well, the week before the game, he tore his groin, which, as you know, Caitlin did, and they didn't think he was going to play. And he told him in the game that right before the game, there's no way he was going to miss this game. And Greg Davis called that great bomb to him, and they knew it was going to be open. And Beathard turned to him and said, "Just run." And he said he was in great pain, but I don't know, was that a 65-yard pass, Jason? Do you remember?
Somewhere in the area, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a great story that he heard it. He could feel it tearing as he was running, And then the very next time they got the ball, they dialed up another deep shot to Vandenberg. And Beathard turned to Vandenberg and said, "You're going to be open again." And he said, "Whatever you do not let them hold you." And they held him. So I thought that was a cute story. The only other news is Walitsko, the major Twitter, I think it's called Skim Milky or something. It's after
George Raveling.
Well, I know that, but I'm covering other news first. The Twitter account that is very accurate on women's recruiting says Walitsko is going to come to Iowa, is leaning very heavily to coming to Iowa, which we all love that.
Yes.
Hope it's true. And then Gigi Battle, of course, is going to visit the week of UMass, and Vienna Murray is going to visit the 20th of September. Those are both tall guards. And then Amelia Stresvitsky is a 6'5" post from California. Her and Jenica Lewis, she says she's going to visit on the 20th of October, but we're kind of thinking that her and Jenica Lewis and Amari Biles, who's a 6'2" wing, are all coming the 24th of October. And some people say that Bjorn might have decided to, who's also a top 10 player, might have decided to visit Texas and not Iowa. But anyway, and you can tell the Raveling stuff if you want to, Jason. So
Oh no, I was just putting it out there as part of
Yeah.
the news because you said you didn't have much, so I didn't know when you were done. So I just
yeah,
put out that George Raveling's gone at 88, if I remember right.
Correct. Yes. And
Yeah,
he's set up. I mean, his 3 years at Iowa. I mean,
set
weren't
up.
outstanding years, but he set up the greatest year in Tom Davis's career, the greatest career at Iowa, 30-win season. And as we all know, we just missed the Final Four after having a huge lead
Yeah,
in that year. But yeah, that set Tom Davis up for the greatest season in Iowa basketball history.
and Kirk Ferentz told little George story today that they had this. I remember Mike Jones from Texas was a tall linebacker or something at visiting from Texas, and George Raveling, when he come on campus, George Raveling jumped in and tried to help us recruit him. And after the kid left, George wrote him a 2-page letter, telling him to please come to Iowa and why. And Kirk says he still has that letter in his office, and he really he said he didn't know Raveling that well, because he was busy with football, of course. But he said George was just a very nice, interesting man.
yeah.
Was all, just a wonderful human being.
Okay, guys, should we get on with the game? Rivalry week, hate week. And I will tell you what, you can sure tell the Iowa State fans are feeling confident this week. I've never seen so much garbage coming out of the Iowa State fans as I've seen this week so far. Usually they're low key in it because they're worried that Big Brother's going to do them in, but they pretty much convinced that we're going to go in there and lay an egg and they're going to win.
That's because most of the Iowa people are saying the same thing. So they're just feeding off a lot of the Iowa people's energy.
Yeah, we're not that confident, are we? I mean, you are. You definitely are confident. Okay. Well, anyway, let's talk a little bit about who some of the people are that we need to be aware of. I think most of us know. I mean, Brock Obrecht is their quarterback. I don't know if you guys are aware, but he's had back-to-back 3,000-yard seasons. The only quarterback in Iowa State history to do that.
Yes, but he doesn't do that against. He doesn't read defenses very well, which is why he doesn't do very well against Iowa.
Okay. And I forgot to look up his stats against Iowa last year.
The zone defense affects him. Like, he's really good against man coverage and stuff. I mean, like the first game of the year, he was 14 of 20. He's a career 58% passer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And against Kansas State, he was 50%, 14 of 28. And then he goes 19 of 20, but that was against South Dakota, and all his receivers were wide open. That's not going to happen to Iowa against Iowa. Plus, Iowa's looking at the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So if he throws it high, he always throws a pick against Iowa. I think he's going to throw a couple more this year. Just he doesn't have the receiving talent that he had last year. But yeah, I mean, Rocco's not the one I'm worried about. I'm worried about their backup and what he could do. And I was really high on him, and I completely forgot he went to Iowa State. He's a true freshman. I want to say he was a 5-star. He could have been a 4-star. I don't remember what the professionals. I had him as a 4-star. I don't know what the professionals had him.
What's his name?
Mansky, Alex Mansky.
Yes.
Okay. And at that high school, he's the 7th straight Mansky to be they got another Mansky starting this year there, and that's 7 straight Manskys.
What high school?
In the starting quarterback.
I'm drawing a blank because it's been so long. But then I saw him.
Mm-hmm.
What high school did he come from?
Is it Council? I don't know if it's Council Bluffs. I don't know where the hell it is.
Oh.
Maybe it ain't. I don't know. I follow Iowa. I don't follow Iowa State.
No, I know. I have it on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember.
Iowa recruited him.
He scares me because he can run and throw.
Yeah.
Rocco's not going to do a lot of that. He's going to run around in the backfield and stuff. But Mansky is, I mean, it really sucks that he's there. I'm glad Rocco's got another year yet. But
actually, Rocco's eligible to leave after this year if he can go in the draft.
Well, right. I don't think he will. I mean, that would shock me if he did. But, I mean, they would have to probably get into the playoffs and stuff like that for him to think about that. But, I mean, he's going to do some negative things, and they're going to lose games because of what he does. And this is going to be one of those games, and it's because of Iowa's zone defense. He doesn't do very well against zone defenses. So, and that's why a year ago, I know my brain's not Kelvin. Jimmy, sorry, Kelvin. I know him and I go round and round, but they picked on the weakest link a year ago in our cover 2 man coverage. They should. I mean, the fact that we put Castro in man-to-man was just silly. That's why I blame Parker for that loss. You go put him in man. That's what Rocco will get you in man, because they have receivers that will beat man coverage. But when you're in zone, he can't see it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't anticipate very well. So that's why he struggles against Iowa, other than that freaking fourth quarter a year ago.
Okay. Well, as you know, I said early on that I felt like Rocco could actually eat up our DBs again, like, you know.
He didn't do that.
But I said that after watching the first half against a bad Albany team, watching, you know, our guys get burned because they were playing off too far, you know, and it's just like, you know, watching TJ Hall run up after the catch was made. You know, it's like, why aren't you there trying to disrupt the catch and not let him catch it?
But Dean, that's how he's coached.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a huge thing that I don't understand. I mean, that's what they want, Dean. They want everybody playing back and keeping everything in front of them. They do not care about all that short crap. So when you're blaming Hall, that's literally what he's taught to do.
Okay.
He's taught to play off and not let them get behind him. So that's why against every single team, what happens in the first quarter against Iowa before Parker makes adjustments? They always play back. The other team picks Iowa apart early until Parker makes his adjustments. So, yeah, that's something. I mean, it's just like when you say, why don't we throw it past the sticks? Well, like every coach in America doesn't throw it past the sticks on every third down. You have a play called, and you hope that receiver gets right, but you always have a short receiver just in case, because if he can break a tackle, then you can still get the first.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of things that these kids are coached to do that will make you look silly. Like when it makes Hall look silly because people don't understand. That's literally what they're taught. Play off. Do not let anything get behind you. We don't want any big plays. And make the tackle and hope for a mistake. Parker's thing is, let's hope the other team can't do 10 plays in a row without making a mistake. That's why you see teams pick us apart in the first quarter, definitely. More often than not, Iowa is a second half team because of the adjustments that they make.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, okay? Against Albany, the defense came to play in the second half, and they shut Albany down in the second half, which I'm proud of. Unfortunately, last year in the second half of the Iowa State game, they did not shut Iowa State down. They slowed them up, but they didn't shut them down.
But what happened in that game?
Well, one thing that happened in the game was Lester was stupid and called a deep pass, and Lester says he was stupid. Should have just kept running the ball, for one thing. But in that game, 3 defensive backs hurt Iowa. Castro in the last drive, all letting guys get behind him, and then Nwampa not picking them up for long touchdown passes. Those were breakdowns, which I don't think that'll happen this time.
But when you think about, like I was saying, like you got to look at the game. Iowa was up by double digits. So what did they do? They played off. They wanted Iowa State to milk the clock. They could care less. If X doesn't get burnt on that 75 play yard touchdown, I think the game changes. The game changed in that moment, right? Because then Iowa State was able to run the football, but because Iowa was a little worried about that with X, I think X out.
Iowa dominated the football game last year.
3 quarters. Yeah. The first 3
Iowa dominated the football game. We freaking play in the first half. We should have been ahead 20-0 with stupid play calls down on the goal line. Oh my God, Ferentz was mad, And then let's go for a big waist down throw into double coverage. That interception already mentioned. They just hand the ball off the whole damn game. We win 27-10 and cover people deep, So.
All right. Well, let's move on to the running backs. They've got 2 nice running backs, Carson Hansen and Abba Samu. Yeah.
Sama. His last name Sama. Sama.
Yeah, and I tried to find season stats for them, but I went on the Iowa State.
They're averaging less than 4 yards a carry. Them two.
Yeah, I could not get any season stats for these guys. Iowa State was not publishing them.
Well, if you're an On3 member, the season stats for both teams were published.
Get on the ESPN app. The ESPN app has everything.
I just know that Dean's an On3 guy. You can see the stuff every day. But.
Yeah, usually I could find what I want when I go to the official website of the school that I want to research. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, ESPN. I find it there. There's a lot of ways to find it, but
yeah.
The big guy that Jason likes, he's averaging like 3.8 yards carry, and Sama might be averaging 4.1 or something. It's some of their other guys, like Brecht is doing pretty good running the ball. Some of their other guys have brought their average up, their team average, to like 4.3 yards to carry or something. But,
have they have anyone reach 100 yards rushing in any game of their 2 games so far? Has anybody reached 100 yards?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know the first game they did not, because I found the stats for the first game, but not for the second game.
Because Carson Hansen really hasn't been used. That's who Kelvin was talking about. But he only has like 25 carries on the year. They're trying to save him. They used him in the 4th quarter against K-State after Kansas State was worn down. That's why they could not stop the Iowa State offense. They were done, and they could not stop Carson. So they're using him as what he should be. They're using him as a power back in the second half. And I think they're trying to save him kind of the same way Kirk wanted to save Wiseman. Do you remember the Wiseman senior year where they just stopped using him early in games, and they just sprinkled him in a little bit until the 4th quarter, and it didn't work.
Well, Wiseman played with a broken foot.
Yeah,
ruined his NFL career. But I can pretty much tell you the Iowa State stats are awesome. I don't care if you're talking about passing or running. They build up a lot of stats in the last game. They're like tied with Iowa as far as having very few penalties. Both teams are averaging like 2 penalties a game. They're Iowa State's got good looking stats. We'll see if they have good looking stats on Saturday.
Okay.
That's what matters. So.
Now, Cody brings up Xavier Williams is going to be a special back, although he's not starting. Although I thought he was the best back we had out there, averaging 13 yards a carry. I mean, why wouldn't you want to start him?
Just is all he's got to improve on is the same thing that PFF measured him in. He averaged 11 yards carry, and he only got like a 70. I don't know, 73 rating, but his blocking was bad. You know, he's a lot of young backs. That's one of the last things that come to him. You know, he's tremendous hands, and people say, "Well, he ain't that fast." Well, he runs a 40 faster than Caleb Johnson did.
Yeah, and
we got he's not slow. So.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, so we've got Patterson, we got Williams. Who's the third guy? I might slip in my mind right now. I don't have the two deeps in front of me.
Well, to be Washington starting,
yeah.
Then Xavier Williams, and then Jazzy Patterson. I expect Jazzy Patterson to probably get over half the carries because he's a great blocker and he's a great runner between the tackles too.
But he was also, out of those three, he also had the worst per yardage carry. He was under.
He ran like four. He had like 4 carries at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. You know, probably averaged 4.5 yards a carry or something like that.
Not even that much.
No. Well, you got to
understand.
Yeah, when you're running down on the goal line, you ain't going to average 11 yards a carry. So.
You got a point. You got a point there.
It's impossible. So.
Okay, so let's talk about their wide receivers now. Okay,
Patterson averaged 7 yards a carry.
What's that?
Averaged 5.
Who did?
Patterson averaged 7 yards a carry.
Okay. I know Moulton averaged about that.
Yep,
Moulton, but he got hurt.
Yards a carry too. Washington averaged 5 yards a carry.
Hand the damn ball off.
And Williams was like 13.
Right? 11.
McNeil averaged 5 yards a carry.
He was exactly 11 yards a carry. 11 carries for 121 yards or 122 yards. And that set the freshman record for most yards as a freshman in a game.
11.1 is what ESPN has him. 122 yards. Yeah.
Okay, where did I get the 13 from?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have him in my head. I seen him once, and it's like, yeah, we ran the ball pretty damn good. Oh.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's talk about wide receivers now.
They got a bunch of decent wide receivers. They threw the ball to a bunch of different people, and like 3 tight ends. They got 2 great tight ends, but I don't know anything about. I don't think any of them's as talented as them 2 NFL wide receivers they had last year. But they got plenty of wide receivers.
I mean, they have 2 great tight ends. I don't think they have great wide receivers this year. I mean, like I said, against the only team they played, and we don't even know how good Kansas State is. The receivers didn't do anything against Kansas State. They did against South Dakota. That's what makes this. South Dakota is not last year's South Dakota. I mean, and this is kind of like how everybody's talking about Gronowski. I mean, Gronowski played this same team that probably wasn't even – this team probably wasn't even as good as the playoff team he played. And he put up over 300 yards of total offense. And they're going to act like he forgot, like, how to play. I mean, it was all nerves.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely said that he was jittered. He was jacked up. I think if that had been an 11 o'clock game, I think his results, his personal stats and results would have been a lot better than what he had, because by the time 5 o'clock kickoff rolled around, 5 o'clock for you guys, right? Or was
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Coach said he was already wore out before the game started.
Yeah, mentally, he was in every play and every game he was watching. He was mentally. He talked about. Do you remember? Kirk talked about Drew Tate used to get that way.
Oh,
He'd be by halftime. He would be so exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought it was funny when he said that. He goes, well, heck, freaking Gronowski was tired before the game started. He was just so wound up. His heart rate was going. And he wore himself out before he even got in the game.
Yeah. My gut tells me we're going to see a different Gronowski this week. And I wanted to point something out that I was listening to the CW podcast earlier today. And, of course, he's a Iowa State guy, and he had an Iowa State guy on as a guest, and he was saying, well, they lost Vander Zee, so they're hurting for depth on their wide receivers, so we're going to play them soft and play off all their wide receivers because they can't hurt us. And I just thought, dude, you are not doing your homework if you think that losing Vander Zee is going to hurt us. I mean, he's not. It's not. We've got 6 or 7 other guys that we can turn to. Plus, we got 4 tight ends that we can throw to. You know, we got plenty of people to throw the ball to who can do the job.
Yeah, I would still rather that we had Vander Zee.
Well,
you know.
Yeah, but it's not going to make or break us.
And then I never got a chance to give my opinion of the Iowa State quarterback. I think he's a tremendous quarterback.
Nobody's denying that.
Great feet, and it's like Chuck Long says, he's not a thrower, he's a passer. You know, he calls Gronowski more of a thrower. You know, and I think there's one thing that I know is super. Well, they're 2 tight ends, but there's one thing looking at the roster. I tried doing a deep dive, and it's like, even Iowa State fans, they don't know anything about their roster. You know, it's like nobody knows about their roster. You know, it's like I know that Brecht is a super quarterback, you know, so.
Well, we're not denying that, and Iowa State has a history of super quarterbacks.
No.
How they get them, and, you know, and right now this super quarterback, he made a difference last year on this team, and I'm sure that Iowa State's, you know, going to go on and do good things this year with that quarterback. And so I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised that over the years they've been able to get decent quarterbacking and talent on the offensive side of the ball when they've basically been a for crap team up until the last few years.
It's their style of offense, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
It's the style of play will get you a quarterback.
Yeah,
and they get to play in the Big 12.
A passing conference, yeah.
Yeah, and
well,
that's
a non-physical defensive conference.
Yeah.
It's more about defense. You know, if you're in the Big 10, you play a good. Other than Maryland, you're going to play a good defense most games. You know.
Yeah, but Iowa State's bringing to the Big 12 something that most of the Big 12 teams don't have. That's defense and offense. There's nothing wrong with being able to do both, and that, you know, that's why when people say, well, we got our defense, we're living off our defense and special teams. Well, can't we throw in an offense too? Can't we throw in 31 points a game?
I really love the Iowa State defensive coordinator. He does a really good job, you know. So I'm saying that playing in the Big 12 helps Brecht's numbers.
Yeah. Okay, now, can we finally move on to the wide receivers? I want to get to these guys.
I commented on them. They got a bunch of them that's all had receptions. I said they don't have an NFL wide receiver. Like they had 2 of them last year. I commented on them. But
yeah, Dominic Overby is probably their best receiver from last week because he was freshman of the week. Oh, does this guy play both offense and defense? Because he was also defensive lineman of the week.
He couldn't be defensive lineman and wide receiver, Dean.
Okay, well, and that's what I'm saying. I was asking if he played both ways.
Overby is a wide receiver. He is normally their starter, but he only played a few snaps against South Dakota. So what happened to him is up in the air still. But he is a starting wide receiver. Or was.
Well, but after the South Dakota game, he was freshman of the week, so apparently he played enough to make some noise.
So he's a freshman.
That doesn't make sense considering.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. I was not able to find the stats. If you can find those stats for us, please do.
I've seen the stats. They have like 8 wide receivers that have multiple receptions, and they use a lot of wide receivers, and Purdy moves the ball around, and they got 2 really good tight ends.
Okay, well, first of all, Purdy hasn't played for plays for San Francisco.
Well, I meant Brecht.
I know you did, but I had to get you, Kelvin. Once I had to get you.
It's fine. I'm just telling you that if you want to list every player that's starting for Iowa State, I'm just going to say, I don't know. They're probably pretty good. I don't know. I know quite a bit about the offensive line.
Okay, let Jason talk. He's here for a reason.
I just want to tell you that Overby only had 2 catches for 29 yards.
Okay. Well,
If
what the heck?
Of the week, I don't know where you're getting your information.
I got it from their website, the Iowa State website.
So he was the Iowa State freshman of the week.
No, Big 12 freshman of the week.
No way. That's just no way. 2 catches for 29 yards.
But but it's a freshman. Maybe no other freshman caught a ball.
Right.
I thought they had some other good freshman at wide receiver, like had some name like Radishaw or something. But
well, here they
like
go.
I said, I'm an Iowa guy, so
yeah. Here's the top 6 receivers for Iowa State: Eli Green, Xavier Townsend, Dominic Overby, Chase Sowell, Brett Eccleston, and Carson Brown.
cool.
Okay. And they have their tight ends are Gabe Burkle and Benjamin Braher. Gabe Burkle is listed as the starter, but Benjamin Braher was the starter last year.
Yeah, they all play.
And they all play. They have to. That racehorse offense that they have running up and down the field, kind of like St. Louis Cardinals used to play when what's his name was playing quarterback for them. They called it the carpet on, what do they call it? Basketball on grass or something? I don't know.
St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis. Yeah, that's what I said.
Rams. Basketball on turf.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Kurt Warner.
That's kind of Iowa State right now. Okay. All righty. Their offensive line is led by James McNeil, Trevor Burr, Dylan Barrett, Brendan Black, and then if you want to flip it, those are the center and the backup center, but right guard is Brendan Black and Dylan Barrett. They just flip-flop roles there. And right tackle is Tyler Miller and Austin Barrett. So Austin Barrett must be related to Dylan Barrett. I'm assuming they're brothers, and he's a big old 300-pound guy.
Barrett's brother Carter is one of the top offensive linemen in the state of Iowa. He's been offered by Alabama and everybody. He isn't a senior.
What school is he on?
I don't know if it's Dowling or some school, some big school. Of course, Iowa's recruiting him, but
okay.
And I think his dad played at Iowa State also.
Yeah. So, defensive player Big 12 of the week was Marcus Neal, and special teams was Aiden Floor for Big 12. And so defensive end is Taminato McDowell, and they list theirs different than we do. They got a nose guard, Dominic Orange. I'm just sure it's just wording.
No, Dominic Orange is the best player on their defense.
Okay.
He's going to.
No, but I was just saying they list him as a nose guard.
He is. He's a nose guard, and they're 3-3-5. They're odd man front. He's a beast. He's going to be playing on Sundays.
So they were saying today on a podcast that with that front that with the way they play that odd defense is that we might Mark Gronowski may be able to put the ball and tuck it and run a little bit.
Yeah.
And make some yardage because it lines up perfect. And in the past, Iowa State didn't have to worry about us running the ball with the quarterback because we didn't do it.
Right.
Not since Bethard, so.
And that's what I was going to tell you when you said that the Iowa State defense said they're going to play back. That's what they do. They always play back. And the Iowa offense, I think it was Lester that already said that he might have been Kirk. He expects Gronowski to complete a lot of passes because they do play off. Like that's how Iowa State plays.
So it'd be short passes. We'll dink and dunk our way down the field.
tight ends over the middle the whole game.
Mhm.
As long as we pass block, because they will send weird blitzes at us.
Yeah.
So Gronk is
And-
going to have those weird blitzes coming.
Yeah.
And he's going to have his tight ends over the middle wide open, or even his receivers coming across, like with the mesh. If they run mesh, I guess he doesn't run much mesh, but yeah, the middle of the field is going to be wide open. Underneath, wide receiver screens are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of different things we're going to be able to do because Iowa State kind of plays like Iowa as far as their defense plays off. So you're able to complete in front of them.
Okay. Well, that sounds encouraging. I like what you have to say there. That's
So are
very
we gonna talk about what we're gonna do against Iowa State now, or are we gonna talk about the defensive linemen, or what?
Well, I don't have to mention everybody.
I
We
wouldn't
will-
think so
we
because
will
we
say
don't
that-
know nothing about them.
Okay. I was hoping that Jason did, but anyway, their place kicker Kyle Conroy kicked a 63-yard field goal, and I believe Reese Dakin said something today to Drew Stevens about that, kind of teasing him a little bit. Oh, he said it to him in the game after he hit his 54 or 55-yarder. He said, well, the other one hit 63.
Yeah.
I want to go find that interview. I haven't found it yet, but I'm sure that they like playing with it. Having interviewed Reese on this show, I am so not on this show, but on the Hawkaholics where they interviewed him and I was a guest on there. That guy is so phenomenal to talk to, and he's got such a humor, and he's so chill.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. And then their punt returners, Xavier Townsend and kick returner. And Aiden Flora is both of those two. So they've used them both.
Yeah.
And so, all right, Jason, do you want to talk about the game plan against? Yes.
Sure. Are we, if we're done with, we didn't go talk about the DBs of Iowa State, but like I
Okay,
said,
well, here, I can talk about the DBs if you want to.
they have two players that will be playing on Sundays, and I already told you guys Dominic Orange will be, but so will Jeremiah Cooper. He hasn't done much this year so far, but he's a stud. I don't think they've needed him to do a whole lot. As far as stat-wise, I'm sure he's done everything else. But what's encouraging me is their leading tacklers are all their DBs. Their top three leading tacklers are all DBs. That's encouraging. And
does that mean people are trying to throw the ball toward them all the time?
Kansas State didn't. Kansas State ran the ball a lot, but the linebackers weren't making any tackles.
Oh, so the DBs had to step in and do it.
They had to tackle the Kansas State. They had to tackle the Kansas State quarterback too much because he was running the ball. So
that's true too. No, he's 100% right. The DBs had to stop the quarterback for K-State as well. And maybe Lester learns a little about that because they couldn't stop K-State's quarterback from running the football. But I just think I'm very encouraged with this. They only have 4 pass defensive knockdowns from their DBs throughout the whole season so far. And that's playing against South Dakota as well. So, and their leading tackler only has 13 tackles, and it's Marcus Neal, and he's their DB. You don't want him making all the tackles. So, I don't think their defensive line there's not a lot of depth behind Orange. Well, if we lean on them, like what Kelvin was saying about just hand the ball off, if we lean on them the way Iowa can, so that would have to be Iowa's defense will have to be obviously play for them to be able to do that. But if they do road grade them for a while, they're going to wear Iowa State down. So it is all about what Iowa's defense does. And then if we can complete some short passes over the middle, they can set it up for the deep pass. Just keep pounding. I mean, I think Xavier Williams is going to be huge in this game because he's so big too. And then you could run Gronowski. He's so big. He's 235 pounds? He's bigger than Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I think in every running back Iowa has is over 200 pounds, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Just-
McNeil, but all the other ones are. And
Just tell Gronowski to drink plenty of water this week and stay hydrated.
Well, yeah, he just needs to calm down. Like, he had his heart rate going. He was just sucking up all the air. So, but did you see Washington run the football? How rough he is? Like, you could hear the pads pop through the TV. Like, he was just cracking them.
Is that the one that you said had big thighs or quads?
No, that's Xavier.
Xavier, okay.
Quadzilla. I call him Quadzilla.
Quadzilla, I like that.
Yeah. He reminds me of Jamal Anderson. I talked with a lot of people about this, actually. Jamal Anderson from the Falcons in the 90s. Do you remember the Super Bowl team for the Falcons?
Yes.
Anderson had these huge thighs. He kind of runs like Jamal, too, from the Atlanta Falcons. You'll have to look him up a little bit. But Jamal's a little bit bigger, but Xavier's going to get bigger. Isn't Xavier only 18, 19?
Yeah.
He's a redshirt freshman.
So he's 19 probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
By the way, guys, I heard something today. Just real off topic, but I don't want to forget to bring it up because you're speaking about age. Addie Deal, who hasn't played a freshman year at Iowa yet, is already 20 years old. I just thought that was amazing. She must have stayed back a season at her school or something. Anyhow.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a 17-year-old playing on Saturdays. I watched. I can't remember what team he plays for, but he graduated early, and he's starting corner for a team that I watched. I can't remember which one. He's only 17.
I watched the same game, and I don't remember who you're talking about, but I remember the announcers talking about it.
The announcers were the ones that were talking about it. Yeah, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to grow up so fast. He wanted out of high school and into college.
Well, hey, we're going to have a 17-year-old on our men's basketball team this year.
During the season?
Yes.
Well, he jumped his class, Trey Thompson. He should be a senior in high school, but
hey, isn't that what that one center did for Iowa, for Fran?
Mulvey, yep.
Yep. Yeah, that didn't work out for Mulvey too well.
A guy that a lot of Iowa fans has never heard of, Ronnie Lester. He graduated high school and he was 16. He played at Iowa as a true freshman, of course. And Brian Bulaga was the same thing. That's why he was the youngest starter ever in the Super Bowl his rookie year for the Packers. Bulaga was just born a man, you know.
When you're born in Iowa on a farm, you're born a man.
Well, Bulaga was born in Chicago. He wasn't no farm boy.
All righty. Never mind. them farm boys in Iowa, they as soon as they can start to walk, they're given a rake and some boots and go on the North 40 and slaughter that pig, milk those cows.
Yeah, they don't believe in lifting weights. They believe in throwing hay bales.
That's true.
That's what
you
my
see that? Jenny Dunkers won it the 2 previous years before what's his name? Pieper, right? Pieper won it 2 years in a row, and Dunker won it the 2 previous years.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
And the only reason Dunker hasn't won it is because he retired.
Oh, he didn't do it anymore.
He didn't do it. He
had both seasons. He had shoulder surgery, so he couldn't enter. He couldn't even lift weights in the off season.
So maybe they should reconsider letting the linemen go throw hay bales. Maybe they should say no more throwing hay bales, guys.
Well, they didn't hurt their shoulders throwing 50-pound hay bales.
But it's fun to watch if you guys have never seen it.
I've just seen clips of it. I've never been to Solon to actually watch it happen.
I get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey Dean, I'm limited tonight as far as my time. I see we've went 50 minutes already. I just wanted to tell you that. So
we went 45 according to this.
It's 7:48.
Oh, let's get going.
Started late.
Fun.
Can I just quickly say something about the Iowa State game?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. My thing about the Iowa State game is it's pretty simple. we got the best offensive line in the country. Pretty much, Iowa State, their offensive line has improved a lot from one game to the other, but Iowa's defensive line is borderline super duper. You know, we're going to have to try to put some pressure on Brecht. And when Iowa's got the ball, run the damn ball, lean on that line. You know, people say, well, how come we don't get 300 yards passing? Well, if you get 300 yards rushing, you're going to win 99% of the time. Half the time when you get 300 yards passing in college football, you lose.
Okay.
Everybody can pass the ball. Nobody can run the ball.
Okay.
And I
All
think
right,
ISU, when we lean on the run, they're going to start playing in a box. If
All
they
right.
play in the box, can I finish?
Yes.
When you make ISU play in the box, you hit intermediate passes, like Jason said, over the linebackers to the tight ends. Gronk can run. And anyway, we just play solid three-phase football without mistakes. And I was going to win the game.
Okay, well, let's save it because we're going to go right into our predictions, okay? So save that part right now. Since you're in a hurry, I want to get your picks in, so we're going to do the picks.
Yeah.
Okay? I always should do these at the beginning so that people can just leave the show when they're ready. All right, first game I chose is Illinois at Duke. What you got? Hello?
Illinois for me. You got to tell one, Dean.
Oh, I'll just start with Kelvin first.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Illinois.
Okay.
I know they're only a 2.5 point favorite or something. I don't understand that, but
Okay, Jason, what do you got?
Illinois.
Okay. And I took Illinois too. All right, Baylor at SMU. I took Baylor. Jason?
SMU.
Okay. Kelvin?
I'll stick with SMU.
Okay.
I don't like either team.
Ole Miss at Kentucky. This was a hard one for me, but I took Ole Miss. But neither team is supposed to show much this year. So.
Well, Ole Miss has a head coach that can put up points on anybody. I'm going Ole Miss.
Okay.
I love Hayden Fry, and I know Stoops is under a lot of pressure. I'm hoping Stoops has one of them big game Bobby Stoops games. So I'm gonna stay faithful to my Hawkeyes and go with Stoops.
Okay, all righty. I just wrote down Stoops rather than Kentucky.
I guess I said Stoops 10 times, so.
Yeah.
Marky Stoopies.
Okay, Oklahoma State at Oregon. Go ahead, Calvin.
Oregon, so.
Jason.
Oregon by 100.
Okay, and I also took Oregon. Michigan at Oklahoma.
This is the hardest one of your picks.
It is. Okay, so what do you got?
God, I've been going back and forth because I like Oklahoma's quarterback. I did when he was at Washington State, but Michigan's defense is still there. And it's at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma. We'll find out how good Michigan is with Underwood.
Your turn, Calvin.
I'm just gonna go for my anti-SEC vibe. I want to pick Oklahoma because I hate Michigan, but I'm gonna go with Michigan.
All right.
I'm not good at predicting games.
I took OU.
Mhm.
Okay. Western Illinois at Northwestern. I did take Northwestern, but I picked this game because these are two crappy teams, and I just wanted to know who I thought could win. But I'm gonna go with the Big Ten team at home.
No, Western Illinois is god awful. If Northwestern loses this game, they're not going to win a year.
Okay.
Going with Northwestern. Western Illinois is a bad FCS school.
They're in a little town. They're in a little town south of me. How the hell they have a university? I don't know, but it's Northwestern. I mean, they're a poor school, even.
Yeah.
You know,
Their doors are barely open. Yeah.
So I'm assuming you both are taking Northwestern.
they
Yeah.
barely have doors.
All right. Miami at Ohio at Rutgers. I took Rutgers.
Yeah.
Jason too.
Yeah, I'm going with Rutgers on this one.
Kelvin.
Me too.
Yeah,
Rutgers.
Big Ten. Big Ten. Okay, here's one, guys, that I didn't even have to think twice about. UCLA at UNLV. I'm taking the Running Rebels. Okay, either one of you can speak up.
I'm going to go with UCLA.
Okay.
Mhm.
Calvin.
I have no
Big Ten.
I have no clue. I thought UCLA would do better in their first game, so I'll stick with UCLA.
They're on the road to UNLV, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, and I purposely chose this game because of Vandy Chris, Virginia Tech at Vanderbilt, and I did take Vanderbilt in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Vanderbilt as well. Love their quarterback.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with Virginia Tech, so yeah, I'll take Vanderbilt.
Same.
I would have picked South Carolina for Andrew, but
They're playing South Carolina State.
They're South Carolina's playing like, sister of the poor team. Okay, this brings us to the game. Calvin, you get to go first and name your score.
I got about the same score I did a month ago. Kirk Ferentz going for Woody's record. The boys are not going to lose. Are not going to lose this game. We're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. And I'll go 34-17.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, it's Iowa Hawkeyes winning.
I figured that.
Yeah.
I had no doubt in my mind the direction you're going. Just like I know that Jason's going Iowa. I just need a score from him.
I'm going to go with Iowa 24, Iowa State 20.
Okay. All right. I was going to pick Iowa State in this, but my heart would not let me pick the Cyclones, so I have to pick Iowa. And so I'm already publicly on the network on internet today saying that I'm picking Iowa to win 24-21 after Iowa State blows a 60-yard field goal attempt as time expires, and Iowa kicked the go-ahead field goal with 1:30 left, and so Iowa State only had 1:30 to work with to get down to in 60 range. And we kick a 54-yarder.
Just like last year. Except
What's
Iowa
that?
State, just like last year, Iowa State kicked a 54-yarder to beat us.
Yep. That's why when I put it down on somebody's thing, I said ironically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But they got confidence in their guy hitting 60-plus yard field goals, so they're not going to think twice.
Why
They're
didn't you tell me my cheeks are so fat you can't see my eyes?
I can't even see hardly on the screen. This is not a big screen.
Don't feel bad, Jason. I got the bags under my eyes are so big I had to buy a bra for them.
Yeah. All right. And I would also like to.
No, that's bad.
Yeah. I would just like to mention that we picked 12 games last week. I went 8-4. Paul went 8-4. Calvin went 7-5.
Phew, that's awful good for me.
But most of the games that we lost, most of us lost the same ones.
I was shocked at how good an athletic team Miami had. It's like how the Notre Dame coach is really good. How the heck he brought that team back, I don't know.
And so, question, guys. We got a few minutes. Let's talk about the first week. How do you feel like Wisconsin? Did Wisconsin perform better than you guys thought, or about what you expected? And same with Nebraska.
Nebraska did kind of what I expected. I had them winning by 6.5, so I had them winning by a touchdown. So they were like in the range. Their quarterback still made some. God, Dylan Raiola, he's got everything you need except he thinks he's Brett Favre. He puts the ball in some crazy spots that are dangerous, and Iowa's going to pick him off when he does that against Iowa. And he almost screwed Nebraska against Cincinnati. It's like he didn't learn anything from his mistakes a year ago.
My view of Dylan is he can drop some balls in some of the most miraculous places to complete passes like 25 yards downfield or something. But he can also make the dumbest damn plays. You know, he's got to mature. You know, he's probably 19 years old.
Oh yeah.
You know, but I just in Wisconsin, I just don't think they're near good enough this year. I mean, they didn't play a very good team.
The team they played, that's why I went against Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio is missing their quarterback. They're the new Iowa. Like, their quarterback graduated a year ago. Last year they had, what's his name, who played like 7 years. And he's gone now. His brother was the number 1 draft pick for the Jaguars. I cannot think of his name. But anyway, he played forever for Miami of Ohio and was their quarterback, and he's gone. They legit don't have anything on offense. So I don't know what to think of Wisconsin.
The team that impressed me was the Purdue coach, and Michigan State looked good. You know, as far as surprising teams, you know. Of course, Purdue, like when I did my nil thing, when the Purdue coach Collier got hired, you know, he brought in like 58 new players, and they spent a lot of money. It might be kind of like, you know, Indiana last year, where the talent's a lot better than we think, you know, and he's a decent coach. But Michigan State, I thought looked good. But
I asked the question: is Purdue the Indiana this year? Is it the new Indiana going to be?
I mean, I don't think so. They played the worst team in the MAC.
Okay.
So to me right now, it's like the second worst team in the Big Ten beat the worst team in the MAC. But after watching Northwestern, and Preston Stone's not very good, so I did question why they went and got Preston Stone. But Northwestern is going to be the worst team.
I can answer your question, Dean. No.
I'm listening.
The answer is no. Purdue got one of the worst schedules in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
The Indiana coach must have not only bought his team, he must have bought the schedulers off last year. You know.
Okay.
They played Ohio State. That was the only really good team. Michigan was a bad team last year. Those were the 2 good teams he played. So
Indiana. Okay, what do you guys think about them? Last year they were the highest scoring team in the nation at 50-some points a game. And they also blew out teams by double digits all the time. And I can't remember their score, but I think they scored in the 20s and still won.
27-14.
Yeah. What do you think of that? Is this an Indiana team that's come back to earth, or is this just they ran into a really good team that they played?
No, they didn't play a very good team. They played a good FCS team. If I think Old Dominion's still in the FCS, I don't remember. They might have moved up. Okay. But no, they needed a punt return to get that 27 points. I told you I'm not impressed with Mendoza from California. He didn't impress a lot there, and then they went and got him, brought him to Indiana. They had Rorick last year, who I told you was one of the best quarterbacks in the MAC. Like he was the best. He was a man among boys in the MAC. So when he went to Indiana, he was on a level playing field. But he actually balled out there as well. So
he's got more experience. Mendoza's a younger quarterback too. You can tell he's greener.
Yeah.
he might end up being maybe an O'Rourke, or if he stays around a 5th or 6th year, But
No, you're right. O'Rourke was, he was a 5th-year senior.
yeah, their quarterback ain't as good this year as Rourke was in the first game, anyway.
But this also could be like the first game that Iowa had, right? The game it didn't look good. We have to wait till Indiana plays somebody, and this one, unfortunately, they don't play anybody again. So
until Iowa. So USC, what do you guys think of that dominating performance? Should Iowa be concerned now? After I said that we were going to go in and break the West Coast losing streak, now I have my doubts.
No, you can't have your doubts. These teams are. If you look at the recruiting of both those teams, USC had so much more speed. There's nothing those coaches could do to help them against USC speed. USC has everything to be pretty good if they play defense. The problem is when USC plays a team that knows how to play offense, they're in trouble. They have to outscore them. So I don't think we could tell. It's just like Indiana. When USC plays teams that are bad, they're going to destroy them because they just have speed everywhere. There's just nothing to do. But I have to wait until USC actually plays somebody before they're actually playing defense this year. Because Lincoln Riley hates defense. So we'll have to find out.
Yeah, he went from one league playing no defense to another league with no defense, and then that league left him, and now that league plays defense. He's going to have to learn how if he wants to survive in the Big Ten.
Correct.
Finally, let's ask about Minnesota. What do you guys think about Minnesota?
I think it's another normal Minnesota team. I think it's an 8-4, 7-5 Minnesota team. It's just a normal, average Minnesota team.
Okay. I got my questions in. You guys want to add anything before we leave the air?
Run the damn football Saturday, Iowa. Run the damn football. And
Jason, your final parting words.
It's play defense. Because I want to say throw the ball, but that might be silly. Because I agree with Kelvin in this game. Iowa State doesn't have a lot of depth in their front seven. If Iowa can wear them down, get Dominic Orange, really breathing heavy, Iowa could dominate the game.
Yeah. As Aiden Fry used to say, we're just going to scratch them where it itches.
And this is a perfect game for that, to be honest, because they're going to play off of us. Wide receiver screens are going to set up the offensive line for good blocking angles. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do with the way.
I hope they play. I hope they play in a box. That's when you get your longest runs.
Just like 3 quarters a year ago.
Yeah, because once you get through that box, you're all the way down the field before anybody realizes what happened.
Offensive coordinators love it when the defense plays in a box.
And for anybody who questions whether or not Kirk Ferentz wants to actually have a passing game, because I know it's been out there where people are questioning it. He said in his news conference today he wants to pass the ball. He said he does not want to be one-dimensional. All right.
He never has wanted to be one-dimensional, and I can guarantee you only one person asked you that question, Dean. Not going to say.
I know who you're thinking of, but he's not the only one.
Well, okay.
People pay too much attention to what you call message boards and the internet in this
not
world.
Message boards anymore. They're just
and podcasts. I know I'm on a podcast. But most podcasts are so bad. It's just like, oh my God.
As I did want to point out, the instant reaction after the game was hilarious on all the podcast call-in shows I listened to the other night. I think there was about 4 of them, and I listened to 2 for sure, and I went back and picked up another one on afterwards, even in replay. But the instant reaction I thought was a joke, and one podcaster I thought was a joke.
Well, I heard that one guy that you like. God, what's his name? He's on CBS Sports too. He's on Iowa.
Hassel.
Yeah, I heard he was horrible. I heard
He was definitely against Iowa and what Gronowski did. He didn't have anything good to say. And
yeah.
he's picking against Iowa this week. And
Is
he's
he?
an Iowa fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did the Punting is Winning podcast pick anybody in the game yet? Or?
I don't know if they did or not. I have not had a chance to read their
I was so
listen to
busy.
their podcast.
I would get so busy trying to get ready for this podcast all day yesterday and all day today. You know, Kirk has a news conference, interviews, and podcasts up, and I love listening to their podcasts, but I didn't get to. I seen their question they put up, which I knew I was going to answer their question tonight, so I didn't want to publicly answer it on Facebook.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
but I didn't know what
Alrighty.
they said, and I love watching their podcasts, but I figured sometimes they're a little, you know, down in the dumps about Iowa, you know, and I didn't know who they picked, but
A lot of these people just hate Kirk. That's the bottom line. They just
Um,
whatever.
yeah,
actually,
I told
the
Dean,
Punting is Winning podcast. One would like to see Kirk move on. The other one is happy with Kirk.
Oh,
well, I told Dean before I went on, I tried to talk to my friends at Iowa State, and I found out that they don't know as much about Iowa State as we do. You know, they're like internet fans, you know, that they don't really know anything. And one of my best friends in high school on the football team, he said, God, I hope Kirk can turn it around to finish his last couple years off. And I go, what are you talking about? And I go, I'm hoping Campbell turns it around because he is 2-8 against Kirk. What are you talking about? He didn't even know the record. You know, and then I go, did you know that the last 10 years is the winningest in the history of Iowa football? And we've averaged over 9 wins a season for 10 years. Oh, I guess you're a real fan, he said. I go, yeah, I try to be. You know? Anyway, I got to get going, boys.
Yep. All right,
Okay, guys. Thank you for being here tonight. Please, guys, subscribe, like, comment, and share. We're out of here. Go Hawks.
Go
We'll
Hawks.
see you after the Iowa State game on Sunday.